And with more on the vaccine situation here in Hamilton, I'm joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger. Mayor, how many vaccines have been administered in Hamilton? And what are you hearing from the Ford government in terms of shipments with the delays by Pfizer and Moderna?
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. It's unfortunate that there's been a delay, but clearly the province and the federal government have indicated that Pfizer has stopped the shipments for now so that they can retool their plant and create more, and that certainly caused the delay not only here but globally. So a significant problem, but in Hamilton we were fortunate that we were able to vaccinate some 19,200 individuals, both in the long-term care residents and staff, and some of our healthcare workers and staff and residents in the high-risk retirement homes as well. So that's good news. We had 2,800 people that actually received their second dose, and we have vaccines available for everyone else that had their first dose to get their second dose.
Luckily, we are seeing a bit of a dip in new daily cases here in Hamilton. Talking now about the lockdown and following the restrictions, how many people or businesses have been ticketed, and what's the most common infraction?
Yeah, well, the ticketing continues, and one of the hallmarks of where we are now is that the educational process is over. Certainly, we tried for compliance previously, but now it's much more strict. So if you get caught, you're likely going to get a ticket. A ticket doesn't mean that you're convicted, so you can challenge those tickets. But we've had 172 charges on the Emergency Measures and Civil Protections Act, about 8 charges under the EMPCA during the stay-at-home order period, which is now, and then reopening Ontario Act, about 137 different charges. And those charges are anything from not doing the appropriate screening at the front door to not requiring people to wear masks or failing to maintain any of the COVID safety measures that are already in place. So ticketing will continue, and forgiveness is not going to be there. It has been educational in the past. Now it's much more rigid, and we need people to comply. It is really a critical time, and we're very much still in a state of emergency relative to this COVID-19.
With less than a minute left, we heard this past week that Toronto's medical officer of health is recommending COVID bylaws to be extended until June. Are you expecting the same for Hamilton?
Yeah, I anticipated we're not going to be terribly different. I mean, it really relies on what the province is prepared to do in terms of the number of cases that we see. And I think that Dr. Williams has indicated that they needed to see the cases at 1,000 or less before they start easing off any of the lockdown restrictions. And we're certainly not anywhere near that right now. So I would anticipate that they will continue. I'm hard pressed to put a date on it, because every time we put a date on something, something comes along to change those things. And, we now have variants and all kinds of other things coming into play here. So I think it's a day-to-day, week-to-week scenario where we're going to continue to measure, what the impacts are, how many numbers of cases that we're seeing, what the impacts on the hospital sector is, and then make some assessments as to where we need to go from there.
That's Mayor Fred Eisenberger. Thank you, Mayor, for your time tonight.
My pleasure. Great to be with you.